It's 17th of June 2022, less than 12 hours to the submission of presidential and vice presidential candidates by political parties to INEC. That ends 12 midnight today. It's official. Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State is the running mate to Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, who is the running mate to Bola Tinubu of the APC. Before the end of today, probably we will get to know the lucky person in court. So all fingers crossed. Now to the issue of the moment. Ekiti, the fountain of knowledge, with 16 local government areas and 16 candidates vying for number one seat of the state. INEC has already distributed the sensitive materials, so the mood of the state is also very sensitive. How prepared are the security agencies, INEC, the candidates, and of course the electorate, whom I may refer at this moment as the kingmakers? This is the focus of political updates today. I am Mie Ogede. I will be back in Ajefi. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has distributed sensitive materials for the conduct of the June 18 governorship election in Ekiti State. The resident electoral commissioner, Dr. Tella Adenire, restated the commission's determination while conducting or distributing displaying the materials to the various political parties in Ado-Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State.
Materials distributed include ballot papers, Form EC8A, resource sheet, and Form EC8B. Resident Electoral Commissioner, Ekiti State, Dr. Tella Adenire stressed the determination of the electoral body to conduct an acceptable election, as the distribution of the sensitive materials will fast-track the electoral process.
And this is part of the transparency that we have been embarking upon in the commission. We have the ballot papers, we have the papers, we have the resource sheets.
Agents of political parties present at the event expressed confidence over INEC's ability to ensure a free, fair, and credible governorship election in the state.
They even gave us the parking list and gave us the color each of the ballot papers per local government.
The exercise implies the transparency of the INEC, which they have been carrying on from the start.
With the distribution of sensitive materials to various local governments across the state, the Independent National Electoral Commission is assuring peaceful, credible, and acceptable governorship election come this Saturday in Ado-Ekiti. Kola Adebobuyi, NTA News.
So let's take you straight to Ado-Ekiti, where our correspondent Charles Alpha will give us the mood of the state. So Charles, let's hear from you. What is the latest from Ado-Ekiti as we count down to Ekiti Decide tomorrow?
Okay, yeah, it's good to have you. Well, I'm standing at the popular Fajui Park, another point in Ado-Ekiti. And another point in the sense that this point, from here you can go to any part of the state. And the road on my right leads to Iyin Ekiti and Ilewa. And also to my right, it leads to the popular Christfield and Ifaki. Now, we were at the Ijibo popular runabout also, where we took reactions from people on how they feel going to tomorrow's election. But I must tell you right now that the influx of people into the town, Ekiti town, is very, very high. We had cause to interact with those traveling from, who traveled all the way from Kogi, from Abuja and Lagos. They are all moving, using these different routes that I've just mentioned to you, to their different local government areas where they will eventually cast their ballots. Now, on security situation, the security movement has been at every given interval here. And now you see the police, the DSS, they have all been around, moving every now and then. A while ago, we were at the INEC premise, where there is also a lot of movement of election officers and ad hoc staff who are also there to put finishing touches to preparations ahead of tomorrow. We also observed, we saw election observers, both international and local. They are all on ground right now. The whole place is ready. And to also add that it's a good thing also that schools have been on midterm, for the past 2 or 3 days, and there is no public holiday. But even though there is no public holiday, what is on the lips of everyone right now in Ekiti is tomorrow's election, and the people are so excited. They are all putting in a last-minute rush. I can say it's a rush hour right now, and everybody is making sure that they get whatever they have to get right before the restrictions start by midnight. Yeah.
Okay, before now, INEC issued a statement that sensitive materials will not be taken to the Central Bank of Nigeria, but straight to the state INEC office. Was that really implemented since you were at the INEC office?
Please come again.
Were the sensitive materials taken straight to INEC office before the display yesterday, or as INEC earlier said, they won't take them to the CBN? Did you observe anything in that respect?
Like I said, electoral officers came to move materials, so it all went to INEC offices, and of course, because of the allegation or whatever that have been said, about moving sensitive materials to the INEC office, INEC cannot make that mistake to do that right now and then begin to raise dust, from Nigerians. So, from the movement we saw earlier today, we also saw, movement directly to local government areas, and also there is nothing of such like materials being moved to CBN, domain.
Okay, you got to Ekiti yesterday, and from your background, we can't see much security personnel. Vehicles have been passing for the past 3 minutes. You can only see traffic warding at your back. How tight is the security in the state capital?
Security have been moving. Just before I hooked up with you, a motorcade of DSS, walked past us, and that has been like that since yesterday when we came in. They have been moving all around the town, and same, I believe, is for the local government, because the military, the police, the DSS, they've all been moving around. But of course, they may not be moving right behind me, but I can tell you that they are all over everywhere in town. Yeah.
Okay, finally, the mood of the electorate, are they really willing to come out? No, at least you have been entering vehicles and probably bikes. You need to have an investigative journalist. How do you feel their reaction? Are they ready to come out, or any other thing they are thinking of?
Right now, from my interaction with those we spoke with this morning on Good Morning Nigeria, we're privileged to talk to just a few of them, but a lot of them were not willing to come to talk to us, actually. But those who actually came out to talk to us were quite ready. We also asked someone if he had his PVC. He said he had his PVC. He said he would come out, to cast his ballot tomorrow. There is anticipation. They are eager to come out, and I see it, because from the movement, from the body language here in town, I think these people, the people of this state, they are ready to make a difference come tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much, Charles Alpha. We'll probably get back to you in the course of programs, because we have a lineup for Ekiti Decide. Hopefully even 5 p.m. we'll be joining you again for an update. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll be expecting me.
Thank you. That is Charles Alpha, our correspondent who is in Ekiti, giving us a blow-by-blow account of events that are currently going on in Ekiti ahead of tomorrow's election. So with me in the studio is a public affairs analyst who will also give us some perspective to what he and the youth expect in Ekiti Decide tomorrow. Join me to welcome Mr. Zopmal Emmanuel, public affairs analyst and president, Middle Belt Youth Forum. Welcome to Political Update.
Thank you, Egidi, and thank you, viewers out there.
You just heard from a correspondent who is on ground in Ekiti, and you also been following up trends there. So, what is your reaction as we count down to Ekiti Decides tomorrow?
Well, I will first of all thank the Independent Electoral Commission for the job well done so far. by keeping to its promises on how to deliver credible elections. And unlike that of 2018, you discover that the atmosphere was so tense about Ekiti election. And this 2022, it seems to be a different political event entirely. The state is calm, and the level of how security agencies have been deployed is not like that of 2018. So that shows most likely there's going to be an improvement on the electoral process, as the case of Ekiti is now. And it is also on note that the Ekiti people are also ready to make the difference as well, because most likely they have seen what the leadership has been for the past 4 years now in the state, and they have a governor who has been part of the cabinet of this present administration, and he resigned to be the governor of the state. And whether he has done well or not, the Ekiti people are going to decide tomorrow to appreciate him, or maybe to punish him for what he has done so far in the 4 years in office.
Tomorrow is indeed a judgment day.
Exactly.
To test whether he has done well or not.
Exactly.
And that will be just through the ballot.
Exactly.
We are talking about 998,000 voters, slightly not up to 1 million even. So do you expect any early conclusion of this election? Because we are talking of less than 1 million voters. You know, Ekiti is one of the least populated states, apart from Bayelsa City. Is, I think, at the bottom in terms of population, though I rank in terms of intellectuals. So what do you expect in terms of a free and fair election in that regard?
Well, Ogidi, I think with the technology deployed so far in some by-elections before now, there's great improvement. In my state, we just had a by-election for House of Reps and one for House of Assembly. We lost these two representatives. So INEC conducted by-elections in those areas. So the use of the technology actually spoke very well for the electorate. They were able to get their votes counted. So the beavers which is being deployed by INEC, if it is optimally used, I think this number of registered voters expected to vote are going to come out and exercise their franchise in the forthcoming election tomorrow. And we pray that as well, the 982,202 registered voters in Ekiti are people that are also passionate to lead the change they are talking about by coming out to vote. I think this one should be the laboratory test for the 2023 elections in Ekiti, in Nigeria rather, so that Nigerians will be able to take their cue from what happened in Ekiti by tomorrow. If we really want to make the difference and to see the leadership we want in this country, Nigerian youths should be able to come out and exercise their franchise tomorrow. We know most likely if INEC takes its stance to resist any form of vote buying, I think that will go a long way helping the electorate as well to exercise their franchise and get the leaders they want to be in leadership positions.
But in terms of violence, the same youth are the most used ones. As a youth, especially as a president, Middle Belt Youth Forum, what advice will you give to your colleagues in Ekiti?
Well, the Ekiti youths, they should know that it is not by violence that we get good leaders. Those who sponsor violence are those who know that they are not good leaders. They are not people that are supposed to be entrusted with leadership positions. So the best way for them to force their way into power or leadership positions is to recruit those that they feel they are gullible, those who can be their victims, to instigate them to unleash violence at the election points. So it is quite unfortunate. And by now, I expected some stakeholders in Ekiti State, traditional rulers, some youth organizations, basically should have done some awareness programs in order to make the youth see the need for being peaceful during voting process. That will give them the chance to elect the leaders they expect to govern them in Ekiti State.
Thank you very much. We still have another issue, the issue of submission of presidential and vice presidential candidates and National Assembly members ends midnight today. And some parties already have their president and presidential and vice presidential candidates. So let's take a look at this report. The presidential standard bearer of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has announced the governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, as his running mate for the 2023 general elections. Let's hear from Timothy.
It was an apprehensive Thursday at the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, especially in the face of numerous speculations surrounding the choice of a running mate to the PDP presidential standard bearer, Atiku Abubakar.
We should all take the results, and after that, we should all come together and unite as one.
The moment finally came with the National Caucus of the party joining the National Working Committee to curiously listen to Atiku.
He is a serving governor who has demonstrated in his state and through his conduct that governance is about service to the people. Please join me in welcoming to the ticket the next Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Governor Ifeanyi Arthur Okowa.
I accept wholeheartedly, and in accepting so, I want to pledge that I'm going to stay loyal and committed to the course of this battle.
Contrary to all the speculations in the social media, the National Working Committee or the party didn't select one name for the candidate.
A certificate of return was immediately presented to the PDP presidential running mate, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. Dr. Okowa was subsequently screened by the Tommy Kimi-led screening committee set up by the PDP National Working Committee to screen the running mate before forwarding his name to INEC. Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
All speculations put to rest, according to the chairman of the party, but from the National Assembly, Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, says the best option for a running mate for Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to go for a Muslim ticket. It will come up.
The most important thing is for the party to win. Already the wife is a pastor that have been living for over 50 something years together. I've known them this far. So why do you want to blame about she's already like a deputy president? If I'm to say, I'm a Catholic. I'm saying my opinion. This is Orji Kalu's opinion. You cannot deny me my opinion. But you can also play Christian ticket, depending on the scenario. Because if we don't play Muslim, we're in trouble. We will not win it will be most difficult to win the election. Because the only thing left for Ahmed Tinubu today is to play Muslim. I know that the church I go to, the Catholic secretary, might condemn it, so it's not good to. What is wrong with Muslim ticket? I don't see anything in my eye. There's nothing wrong with Christian ticket also.
President Muhammadu Buhari this week granted audience to the Progressive Governors Forum in furtherance of strategic engagements with critical stakeholders towards ensuring that the governing party retains power for sustainable future of the country. Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State was also in the state house for party issues.
The next thing as party leaders now and opinion leaders is for us to rise up, mobilize the polity, and get members of our party committing to a successful election by 2023, so that our president that is leaving will also be handing over to our own president of APC. That is our preoccupation now, how to win the elections. We are ready to go and work for our candidate and produce the next president to deliver democratic dividends, develop Nigeria to look like other parts of the Western world where democracy is working.
Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an astute politician. He understands the game well, and he knows how to win a contest, especially at this level. Whether a Muslim or a Christian, we're all Nigerians. It is long I have been advocating that we should de-emphasize on our fault lines, that which divides us. Let us rather dwell on what unites us more.
Nigeria is indeed a plural society, so movements like this are expected. I still have with me in the studio the President, Middle Belt Youth Forum and Public Affairs Analyst, Zumal Emmanuel. You just heard from some top shots from the both parties. Yes. PDP, they have gotten their VP, and then APC, they are still doing some politicking, I guess, because they have less than 12 hours to meet up INEC's deadline. How comfortable are you with some of the comments? We have some arguments: Muslim ticket, Christian Muslim ticket. Nigeria is a plural society. So, as somebody from the Middle Belt Youth Forum and a youth in the country, what is your take in some of those comments?
Ogidi, you see, the foundation of this issue of presidential candidates is the dollar-to-dollar or dollarized primaries. Both parties, the major two political parties, have already used dollar as a factor or success factor in the primaries. And the outcome of it is that whoever emerges may decide whatever he can, because he may feel that he earned with his own deep depth of pocket. So, as it is now, in a country that is multi-ethnic, and we have two major religions that they seem to be having frictions all the time, and we have experienced ethno-religious crisis in this country in some parts, and most times almost engulfing the whole country. It shows clearly that religion is a factor in this country. It is key to the sensibility of every Nigerian. And it is not that the politicians will be the one to say that it does not matter, but rather the general public, who constitute the entire population, should be the one to decide whether it matters or not. So, if you look at it, no society on earth that has ever existed without a pluralized form. If you go to like Northern Ireland, I think there has been a war between the Catholics and the Protestants. That is even within the Christendom, in a civilized nation like Northern Ireland. How much more a third world nation like Nigeria, where people look at religion as key. Whether he wants to be poor, he would rather remain a religious person. Whether he's going to have education or not, he remains a religious person, because it is an issue that is being seen as to be an eternal affair. So, definitely, these things, presidential aspirants have to look into this issue and take it seriously. They shouldn't joke with the sensibilities of Nigerians.
Thank you very much. I think even as we are meeting here, some parties are also meeting to finalize on this issue, because time is ticking, less than maybe 10 hours to go.
That's good.
So, on that note, we call it a day on Political Update. We wish the people of Ekiti State a violent-free polls, and for the people of Ondo State, our condolences for the mass burial of the victims of the killing at the cathedral. Thanks for joining us.
This is the network service of the NTA.
When music meets dance, love meets poetry, and stories meets drama. Your joy, laughter, smiles and giggles will be all that